Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second Youth Initiative informational webinar. I hope you all are doing amazing on this wonderful hump day. This is the first Wednesday of August, so make it count. All right, next slide. So here's a little bit of the agenda today. We'll start off with the welcome, which of course I just did. The mission, program sponsors and partners, Youth Initiative key staff, Youth Initiative peer educators role, program goals, youth scholar and program and project overview, and application and deadlines. Next slide. So here's a brief statement about what MAC's mission is. MAC leads with race to urgently fight health equity and racial justice to end the HIV epidemic in America. If you would like to learn more about MAC's mission statement and what we do in our conferences, please click the link below or go to mac.org when you get a chance. Next slide. And we would love to shout out our sponsors, Vive Healthcare. Without them, this wonderful program would not be able to occur. So thank you to Vive Healthcare for all of their sponsorship. Next slide. All right, so we'll talk about Youth Initiative and MAC staff. Me, of course, I'm Gabriella Spencer. I'm the Senior Youth Health Coordinator for the MX Center, and I will be providing the logistics, travel, and all things fun, of course, because, you know, we're the Youth Initiative, so we're the most fun scholarship out here. But don't tell anyone I said that. And then I also make sure that I intentionally support to ensure that the program meets the desired goals for the youth scholars. So I'm here to support you in any means possible to make sure that you are able to fully accomplish the full 10 months of the Youth Initiative. And my contact information is gspencer@mmac.org, GSPENCER@M as in Nancy, AM as in Mary, A as in Apple, C as in cat.org. And we'll, of course, go back to the contact information at the end. So feel no need to rush. We'll also type it out in the chat box. And now I will transition it over to the lovely Michael Smith Jr.
Hello, everyone. I am Michael Smith Jr., public health practitioner here, who's going to be working with you, looking at how are we delivering the material that you're going to be learning, looking at the curriculum, working with those who are going to be facilitating these opportunities for you to engage them in learning the curriculum that we set forth for you. And so I'm going to be working with planning, logistics, pedagogical methods, and just supporting you throughout the process to make sure that you have a meaningful experience here with us at the Youth Initiative. And as you can see at the bottom there, my contact information, msmith@nmac.org. You also can follow me on different social media handles as well, where we can fully engage as well if you want. Let's see, next slide, please. So I just got talking about how we want to make sure that you're getting a meaningful experience. And one way that we want you to have a meaningful experience is by partnering you with peer educators. So we're going to have peer educators who you will meet in a few weeks, really, who will be responsible for engaging you in the curriculum that we've designed. They're going to be teaching this material. They're going to be helping you to facilitate your own projects that you're going to be responsible for during your tenure in this program. And they're going to help you think critically innovative about how can you be the best HIV advocate that you can ever be. Next slide.
All right, so I will talk about the 2021-2022 Youth Initiative objectives. So every youth scholar, if accepted into the program and includes participation in the program, because of course, we can't give you a scholarship to USCHA if you are not participating. So if you're not attending the bi-weekly webinars, then we can't give you a scholarship to USCHA, unfortunately. So participation does matter. So you'll receive a full sponsorship to USCHA, which includes flight, lodging, and a stipend. We also provide training to help produce the World AIDS Day and HIV Day projects and Awareness Day projects. So those are in person and webinars. So those are the webinars that I mentioned, and the in person will be USCHA. And then we also introduce the scholars to the HIV workforce professionals. So we will have professional development speakers come in every once in a while just to get you in the room with people that you may not usually be in the room with. So last year we had Harold Phillips, Dr. Tonya Petit, Dr. Jared Sell, all come in, and those are people where the youth scholars were able to connect and network with and get their information so they could touch base with at a later date and learn more about what they do. We also provide job readiness skills and resources to scholars. So we will have resume building workshops, how to interview. We would also like to offer headshots because nowadays everyone needs a headshot. And if you're not on LinkedIn, what are you doing? That's where you find all the good jobs and everything. LinkedIn is your go-to place to network. So we need to make sure that you have a professional headshot to network because unfortunately we can't give everyone a job. We would love to, but we can't offer any jobs at the end of this, but we can provide you with the skills. So once you leave the 10-month youth initiative program, you'll be the best HIV subject matter expert there is. And you can get that job because you got your professional headshot and you got your job readiness skills and you learn the wonderful curriculum that Michael Smith Jr. will now talk about. So next slide.
So of course, you may have heard Gabriella mention that this is a 10-month commitment. But we want to slow down for a second. We don't want you to get overwhelmed. So we've created a curriculum and design that allows it very much so to be flexible and meet the needs of people who are working, that meets the needs of people who are in school. And so like you, Gabriella has mentioned earlier, we only meet 2 times out of each month during this 10-month commitment. We meet in person, and that's during USCHA. All the rest of them are virtually, and it's 2 times a month. And the good thing about it is, really, it's going to be a combination of recorded sessions and live sessions. So in one particular month, you may only have to tune in virtually 1 time, and all the other times will be a recording that you have to watch and maybe respond, interact with your peers through an online learning platform. And so some of the things that we're going to be introducing you, just a sample of some of the curriculum topics, are social determinants of health, looking at cultural responsive care, public health program planning, HIV epidemiology, stigma and HIV, looking also at the intersection between HIV and non-communicable diseases. You know, looking at a host of different things that play factors into HIV treatment, care, and prevention. So we're going to looking at structural violence. We're going to be looking at federal programs that are currently within the United States of America. We're looking at different programs international. What are they doing well at, and how can we adopt those programs in our approaches in the US? And so definitely we've set some curriculum that's going to make sure that you have the tools necessary to produce and facilitate your own World AIDS Day project and also your Awareness Day project as well. Next slide.
All right, so here's a little overview of the projects that you will be producing within your 10-month tenure with the Youth Initiative. So the first project is a World AIDS and HIV Day project. World AIDS Day is typically December 1st, but we know we give y'all a little bit leeway so you're able to produce the project within the whole month of December. And so this is an independent project where you will collaborate with external organizations. The organizations can be a school, a nonprofit. They just have to be someone that is serving the community. So a 50C13, 501c3. Wow, I messed that up. A nonprofit. And it will be facilitated during the month of September, as I mentioned. Previous projects that they have done in the past were a kissing booth. So people were able to come in, kiss, get HIV tested. Last year during the virtual environment, somebody did speed dating. So they were able to come, talk, learn about HIV and PrEP. We also had a documentary where somebody was able to tell their story, and by telling their story they were able to educate their community. Someone did a showing of a movie, so they showed a movie about HIV and they were able to educate their coworkers. And then another project, we had an artistic project, which was the person had a lot of people submit art, And in that art exhibit, they were able to talk more about HIV and reduce stigma via art. And then the second project, which will happen in the later half of the Youth Initiative year, is an Awareness Day project facilitated during April and June, and you'll work in a group. So you'll be partnered with another Youth Initiative scholar, and you all will work on one of the 15 HIV awareness days. We'll pick the HIV Awareness Day because we realize some people might pick certain days and we want everyone to learn something a little bit different. So it's a social media campaign where you will educate through social media what the Awareness Day is, how it came to be, and the significance of the Awareness Day. Yes, next slide.
So, I think at this point, you may be looking at the fact that yes, you're getting money, a full sponsorship to go to USCHA, where you're getting a stipend. You're getting money to put on your own World AIDS Day project. You're getting money to facilitate your own Awareness Day and all the other gimmies and treats you get with being a part of the youth initiative, such as different prizes, gifts throughout. Listen, it's a no-brainer. Go ahead, pull out that phone, go to that QR code reader or your camera, and you scan that QR code. It's going to take you directly to the application. You're going to select the VEED Youth Initiative Scholarship. Answer those questions, put out your best application you could do, and I promise you, if you're selected, it's going to be worth the time. We are definitely, wanting to bring in people where we can train them to be in the communities, to make meaningful engagement with their community, and so I want to encourage you all because we're really at the end of the youth initiative. It's not a lot, but there's so much meaning in what we do here. And I want to encourage you to put any questions in the chat box, any questions you may have as we are really wrapping up what the program is. But Gabriella, maybe you can tell them some tips about how they should be doing the application. Because I know there's like maybe one or two questions that they have to answer, I think, right?
Yes. So what we love to see is your personal narrative. We want to see a story. We want to be compelled. Answer the questions as honest as you can. Really make sure that your passion for HIV comes through in the application. And just be as honest and as passionate as you can be. We like complete, please answer the full question, completely answer the question and make sure you read the question. I know sometimes I have to read over things multiple times to ensure that I fully understand. If you read the question, answer it, read the question again, read your response, make sure your response answers everything in the question. Yeah, that's really all I can say. You have any other tips, Michael?
Gabrielle, I think you hit on something that's very, important when you say it. Reread your response. You'll be surprised by just rereading your response. You're like, well, that didn't make sense. Or let me put more detail in this. Or maybe I should have said it this way. You really want to proofread your application. And I'm going to encourage you even to go forth and find someone, like a friend or your any type of parent or aunt, uncle, or whoever you may be connected with, just to read over your application as well, because sometimes other people may look at it in a different eye and see different things that you may want to say on it. And then also, sometimes we have different strengths that, we have a hard time boasting ourselves or promoting ourselves. So, and your friends may be that one that's going to hype you up, and so let that friend, let that parent, let that aunt or uncle, or whoever, read over your application to figure out what are you leaving out? What could you make it better? Because I'm not going to lie to you, there are a lot of applications coming in for the youth initiative, and we can only select a certain amount of people. So you want your application to be the best, and we want to select people who are at the heart of the community with the community at heart, because we want to be a world-class leaders, and who are moral cosmopolitans, those who think globally but act locally, right? And so you definitely want to make sure that your application is top tier because you want to be selected. So definitely use that QR code. Gabriella, should we see if we have any questions?
Yeah, Jazz, our voice in the sky.
I do. About the youth initiative, one thing I will say that's different than all the other programs here at NMAC is you actually get curriculum from it. So it's something you can apply to the job field. It's also something you could put in your resume. NMAC has a large footprint in the HIV community. So anything you can do to be involved with this is something I would jump on as well. So that's one thing, my big selling point with this initiative.
Thank you, Jazz. Were there any questions?
Feel free to put it in the chat.
Oh, so we have no questions currently.
Or
Well,
maybe you don't have a question, Gabrielle. Maybe we want to know, where are the people from? So maybe, tell us your hometown. Where are you representing? You know, what's that
yeah,
area code?
Michael. Where are you representing?
Of course, 404 all day, Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
I'll
Where you come
unmute the
from, Gabrielle?
participants if they want to.
Jazz, what about you? Where are you representing?
Atlanta, Georgia. We have
Hey,
one. Hey, we have one from Florence, South Carolina.
okay.
Ooh.
Not
Oh, oh, oh. Okay. Okay. Can you guys hear everyone? I want to make sure the audio went out. Oh,
Okay, great. We accidentally got muted. Michael, we missed
yeah. My
everything you were saying earlier.
my apology.
oh,
But yes, I am representing the 410. If y'all don't know who Brent Fayez is, you need to figure that out. I highly recommend his album. That is like one of my favorite male R&B singers. I am an R&B stan. Brent Fayez to die for. I would love to see him in concert. But yes, I am representing Ellicott City, Maryland.
yeah, and maybe Jazz. If you could, although I know we don't have any questions thus far, maybe go back to the contact information, because of course, although you may not have any questions now, we definitely want to be an asset to you during your application phase. We are more than free. Email us, shoot us an email. We would love to answer any questions, or maybe one of the questions that you have, it's a little confusing, you don't understand it. We're always welcome to help you out. We're here to assist you throughout the process. You can email me or Gabriella. Her email is coming up next. You can email her as well. And we would love to help you or answer any questions, whether it's clarification about the 10-month commitment, seeing some of the other things that's on the curriculum, because we only went over a sample of the things that we're going to be talking about in the curriculum. Or maybe you want to know some further clarification of the World AIDS Day project, or maybe you have an idea already. You just want to ask, is this something that you possibly could do, or something you have planned, you want to see if you could use the funds for that. We are more than welcome, or more than happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Yes, and please, email is the best way to contact us. Well, contact me preferably. I prefer email because I can always go back to an email, read it over again if I don't understand. Same with those questions on the application. Read it over again if you don't understand. And I really look for robust answers. So I just don't believe that you could fully answer any of the application questions with just one sentence. So please, give us more than one sentence because you were more than just one sentence.
This is true. You are more than just one sentence. I actually like that.
Thank you.
And finally, guys, they have a lot of applications, so make sure your application is very thorough. It is pretty competitive this year, but hope once again, if you're passionate about HIV and initiating it with the youth, please apply.
Once again, the age range for the youth initiative is 18 to 25. So if you are not 18 to 25, I recommend you check out the other scholarships because unfortunately we can only do 18 to 25. So that means you must be 18 by the time you're accepted into the program, and you must be 25 by the time you're accepted into the program. If you turn 26 during the program, that's fine. But if you're 17 on August 6th, then unfortunately we cannot accept you. So 18 to 25, spots are limited. So please put your best foot forward. As Michael said, I would recommend having someone peer edit your application, read it over a couple of times yourself. The deadline is August 6th, so that's this Friday, I believe. Yes, this Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in the California, I hope you have it in by 2. But I'm going to say that all of you all are not procrastinators and that you'll have your application in by August 5th because you want to ensure that you're going to get in. And that's the best way to ensure at least 24 hours beforehand. Then if you need to go back and check, then you can go back and check.
Gabrielle,
We have one question in the chat. The question was, when will you hear back after your reply?
So our have the application decisions to you all by late August.
And Gabrielle, I just thought of a question that maybe we should, no one has answered, but maybe you can elaborate on this. What if someone has already submitted their application? Are they able to go back in and rechange answers and things like that?
Of course, you are able to go back in and edit everything up until August 6th, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Well,
All
Jazz,
right,
I
that's
guess
our last question.
that was the last question.
Yes. All
All
right,
right,
perfect.
well, I hope to see everyone that's in this webinar's application. And if you need any help, once again, you are welcome to contact us. This meeting is recorded and it will be sent out, I believe. Is that correct, Jazz?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I hope to see all your applications. And if you're not 18 to 25, please recommend someone in the age room. We need the most applications that we can get. It is a competitive program and we love to have diverse applicants. Oh, and it's also welcome to everyone. I think that's something we forgot to mention, that you could be a person living with HIV, an ally, you could be literally anything under the moon. The only restriction is that you must be 18 to 25 and have a good application, of course. But that's the only restriction that you can't control is your age, of course. But yeah, Michael, you have anything else?
I think that's it. I think they have what they need to be successful.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all the wonderful applications.
Wait. We have one more.
Ah,
There's a question on age. One question on age. It literally is in captions, all caps. I have a question on age. What is your question? We'll wait a minute for you to put it in the chat.
I love how they was like, let me just throw this in here so they can stop real quick before they leave.
Yeah.
That was a good technique.
Let's see if it comes in. Okay. If not, if it's something, I should make sure, yeah, the contact information is right there. Oh, okay. Okay. The person says, I'm actually 30 and I received this email, so how do I know if I'm in the right area? Okay, so if you, did you apply to anything else?
Jazz, maybe, because the one thing about the application, of course, it takes them to all of the scholarships. And
Yeah.
if that person is 30, maybe, they're not eligible for, of course, the youth initiative, but maybe, if you can spend like a few seconds talking about the social media one that they may be eligible for.
For sure. So they said they applied back in May. So you probably applied for the social media fellow. So there's two different things. Social media fellow is for USCHA. So that's when we invite people on behalf of NMAC to post on our social media. That is a free age group. So that's probably the one you applied for. This one is particular to the youth initiative, a 10 months, kind of like curriculum based, more hands-on than the social media fellow. I'll put my, I'm the communications coordinator here at NMAC, so I'd be overlooking that actually. Let me put my email in the chat.
And if you did receive an email to this webinar, we did do email blasts. So maybe not everyone that we blasted the email to was in the age range, but you know, you may know someone that is 25 or 18 to 25. So please forward along this information to them because it's a great opportunity. We also offer we do bonding activities. So once a month, we did bonding activities last year where people were able to get Grubhub gift card, or I think DoorDash gift cards. We also had trivia questions where people were able to win Visa gift cards. So we just try to make it interactive throughout the year. So we don't know exactly what we'll be offering, but there will be fun things that you may be able to receive throughout the year here.
All right, I think that was it. No problem for the question. It's good that you asked, but that concludes our webinar. Thank you guys so much for joining.
Yes, thank you all, and I hope to see your
Bye-bye.
applications.
I thought it disappeared on its own.